that the fire, the Gettysburg fire, or Gettysburg, no, the Getty's fire, whatever, up here in California over by the Getty Museum, came all the way up to the spillway right there. If I'm not mistaken, that is the spillway that has been in question as to whether it is structurally sound, so on and so forth. And also, if I'm not mistaken, loss of shrubbery and trees and bushes due to big fire wreaks havoc on erosion and the stability of the side of a mountain, which we've got structural issues with the spillway after it has been refurbished, rebuilt, redone, whatever you want to call it. If that's the issue, and now we have a loss of all, bushes, trees. Not that there's really trees, but bushes, shrubs, grasses, wild, whatever that hold the topsoil down. Now that's all there is around it. It doesn't seem to be too sound, too sturdy. There's just so much stuff. Grasping at straws. I don't know. I do know that so much shit is not right. Not that things have ever really been right in my lifetime, but the absolute zero independent thought, zero independent confirmation, independent investigation. It's just like hook, line, and sinker. We're just as a people now, as a community, as whatever you want to call us, as a plague on the face of the earth. We just swallow everything they give us in the media, and it's like without question. It is disgusting. It really is. It's a sad day. Like flip-flop, and no one cares. No one gives two shits. You ever deemed a conspiracy theory a decade later? Scientists in Harvard and NASA come out and say, yeah, weather modification, this is what we're doing. And no one's like, oh, okay, yeah, whatever. Nobody gives a shit. And it's like, if you give a shit enough to dispute and disparage someone by calling them conspiracy theorists, and that it's whatever, if it's that, like, if you're that resistant to the possibility of something, don't you think when it comes out that they admit to it, you should, like, give it a thought? Like, weird. So what else have they told us no, but ends up yes? And just a wacky doodle. I don't know. This is kind of a rant. Like, there's so much. Like, where do you start? Do you start with the destruction of a traditional family? With the normalization. It doesn't sound right. Normalization. Maybe that is right. I don't know. But the normalizing broken homes. I mean, giving people broken homes happen. It does for sure. But like we are America, especially, is a country of consumers, of use it, buy it, break it, use it, toss it, buy another one. From cars to women to whatever, toys, phones. We don't produce, we don't manufacture. Our gross domestic product is consumption. We're like locusts that don't serve any purpose, really. I mean, what but pollute? I mean, I don't know. Do locusts really in the animal kingdom, do they do something positive? Nah, I don't know. You gotta have some kind of byproduct that benefits something else, right? I mean, when they die, their body, their carcass turns into, nutrients or whatever. So yeah, humans, I wager that we're a lot more destructive to the ecosystem and to any system on a macro and micro level than any other species on this ball of dirt or plate of dirt or disc of dirt or rectangular dirt or whatever shape it is. I don't get caught. For me, that's so what? Like, the minutia. Like, we've been lied to, absolutely, about a whole lot of shit. Does it do with everything that there is out there? Am I really going to? Do I really want to expend the energy regarding flat Earth? Or what? No, not really. I mean, it's bullshit science that we've been taught. It's bullshit. It's completely wrong cosmology. It's electromagnetic. It's plasma. The gods, the thunder gods, and I can't remember the group or the video or whatever, but it's electromagnetic. Everything. The myths, legends, weren't myths. They're oral traditions, or there are traditions and stories based on factual events and traditions and ancient peoples that walked, that talked, that grew, that fucked, that cried and died, whatever. Like, every myth is not a myth. It's a myth because we're ignorant, and the powers that be have deemed our intelligence and our need to know on such a minuscule, microscopic, microcosm, just teensy bit of reality, smothered by a mountain of bullshit. Like, they don't even have the common decency to sprinkle enough truth so that fucking even rose gardens you gotta put manure in, you know what I mean? But let us smell the fucking rose. Christ. And we just accept it. Why? Because it's in a fucking textbook. Says who? My dad wrote a textbook. Yeah, he was super knowledgeable and he was educated. But we're talking accounting. That's numbers. Numbers don't lie. History, you can fuck with that shit. Science, you can skew that shit. But you put a couple letters at the end of somebody's name. I'm not taking away from anybody that invests the time and the money and the effort to get a PhD, to get a master's, any of that. Hats off. But those letters do not necessarily are not indicative of expertise. They are an indicator that you can start something and finish it and take tests and regurgitate facts that have been passed down from one bullshit to the next bullshit. So, like I said, a doctor, so he's, yep, for sure. That doesn't make him an expert in everything. Doesn't make him infallible, or doesn't make him or her. Pardon me, I keep saying him. Euphemistic him. It's androgynous him. It doesn't. It's whatever the human consciousness that has gotten the advanced degree in whatever subject is even more susceptible.
Half a mile, keep right to stay on the old road.
Is even more susceptible to political correctness. They got a lot to lose. They've invested a lot of money in that education, and you start talking about climate change, whether it is or it isn't, guys.
Right,
I don't care. Whether it's a hoax, whether it's not a hoax, whether it's man, I don't care. It's whatever it is. It doesn't change the facts that science.
Continue straight onto
The beauty of science is opposing theories, opposing thoughts. That's how you get down to the nitty-gritty fucking facts. Is you have someone that says, "Hey, the Earth is round." Someone says, "No, hey, Earth is fucking flat." No, hey, gravity. But when we start banishing people from their profession and ruining their professions, ruining their career, and making them outcasts, political lepers, and social lepers, because
left onto the I-5 North,
they have
onto I-5 North.
They have the intestinal fortitude to say, "I disagree." When did we start firing people and getting them blackballed in a profession because they disagree with conventional wisdom, or they disagree with the political narrative, or the social narrative that's being presented? We should honor that. Socrates, Plato,
Continue on
like
I-5 North for 3 miles.
The thinkers of old were all about disagreeing with X, Y, Z, Q, P, R, whatever. But it's not okay now. Not only is it not, it's frowned upon. It's more than discouraged. It's enforced that we all toe the line. We all walk the line, stay in the lines. This isn't a counterculture or anti-authoritarian, none of that shit. It's why man, I grew up in a cookie cutter house. They suck. Every third house on the block was the exact same floor plan. Maybe it was backwards, maybe it was mirror image, whatever. But I don't want a life like that. I don't want to have kids like that. I don't want my kids to be like that. I don't want them to go along to get along, move along to get along. Like, don't think for yourself. The powers that be say that this is how it is, and anyone that says differently or thinks differently, it's the thought police, and we're ratting out each other, and we have to guard our every single action, thought, body tick, facial expression,
Valencia
our
Boulevard.
dreams, our nightmares, our talking in our sleep, you name it. If you, one lapse, and everything can be taken. It's to that point. It's always been borderline. But the one thing, the one occurrence, the one fuck up, the one mistake, the one faux pas, if you will, used to be a lot more extreme, more pronounced, more cut and dry for the most part. Now, fuck, there's no telling. Who knows? Kids are suing their parents for not getting consent for posting a fucking picture. I'm not talking like a naked picture. I'm not talking an embarrassing picture. I'm talking about a family video or a family picture on Facebook or on Tumblr or on Snapchat or on whatever. Loki Toki Tiki Tamarumu Tumbo or whatever the new one is. Where do we draw when do we say no? This is not okay. No, this is not gonna fly. Take a step back. Pull up your pants. Put on your boots. I'm not even saying pull up your bootstraps. I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying, when do we say no? It's not okay for a kid to sue his parents because he didn't ask to be born. Oh, you know, like, for sure, you didn't ask to be born. Be grateful, motherfucker.
Use the second from the right lane to turn right onto Valencia Boulevard.
That's why their parents are legally and financially responsible and culpable and liable for your dumbass.
To the second
For
from the
my
right lane to
dumbass.
turn right onto Valencia Boulevard. Signs
Boy,
for
I made my
motorists
parents
and
pay,
pedestrians.
trust
Then use
me.
the left 2 lanes
And
to
I used
turn
to
left
let
onto
them know
Jordan
too.
Road.
So, and you know, yeah, do me a favor. Before rather than sue your parents, you have an issue with the fact that you didn't have consent to be born, go ahead and remedy the situation. You have every ability to make sure you don't exist any longer. If life is that bad for you,
your destination will be on the
by
left.
all means, do the world a fucking favor. Yep, that's me saying it. I've been there, I've done that, and yet here I am. But you know what? Grateful for everything my family has done for me. Gratitude, personal accountability, personal responsibility, consequences. These are foreign concepts. Nothing but fucking words on a fucking computer screen because they don't exist anymore.
Destination is
It's
on the
not
left.
my fault. It's not. Nope. I didn't choose this. Yeah, maybe you did. How about that? Maybe you did choose it. Who knows? We're still learning all sorts of shit about shit we have no idea about. What we did or didn't choose before our consciousness was married to this lovely meat suit that represents our physical manifestation of consciousness in this realm of existence or virtual reality. Who knows what the conversation was like? Who knows what you agreed to? Who knows what you gave consent to? Keep that in mind. And maybe, just maybe, you'll experience and exhibit a little fucking gratitude for shit. And a little, maybe the only thing that is fair about life is that it isn't fair. White privilege, yep, it sure does fucking exist. I'm a fucking product of it. For sure. I'm not minimizing it, I'm not taking away. With that said, life is equally unfair